Hello, Jennifer from iwishiwereme.com, and today I want to talk to you about playing it safe. And I want to talk to you about how our weight gets in the way of what it is we really want to accomplish in life. When I'm fat, I feel like my weight holds me back from the things I want to do. We have these, Brene Brown calls them gremlins, or your inner critic, saying things like, do you really think you can do that? Look at you. Do you think anyone's going to take you seriously? I mean, really. So when those voices start up, it's really easy to get wrapped up into diet culture, because the messaging around us when we're on watching TV, listening to podcasts, and talking with our coworkers at work is that all you have to do is make some little changes and you're going to be able to lose weight no problem. So, of course, that's what you want to do. But when I was dieting, all I would do was dream about the things I was going to do when I was done dieting. Because when I was dieting, I was exhausted. I was doing so many activities that focused around my healthy lifestyle. Things like tracking. So I would create these endless lists of foods I was allowed to eat, foods I wasn't allowed to eat, what I was going to have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks that day and the next day and the next day. And I would create charts and I would add up calories or I would add up points or whatever it was that I was doing. That's what I would do. I would fitness plan. So all my workouts were printed out and listed and I would check things off or write things down. I was continually thinking as the minutes and hours went down throughout the day, what's my next meal? What's my next meal? How much water have I drank? Where do I have to be in terms of eating enough vegetables? So there was a lot of mental space being taken up by what it was I was eating and what it was I was trying to do in order to lose weight. For me, my thought was always when I get my health, and by health I meant my weight under control, once that's done, that's when I can focus on writing my book. That's when I can focus on joining these clubs that aren't centered around health. That's when I can focus on going to a restaurant and having a nice meal with my family or my boyfriend. Until I've got my weight under control, then I don't have the right to do those things, and I also don't have the ability to do those things because I want to be able to get my weight under control. Dieting then became a really, really great way for me to live very, very small. When I was listening to diet culture that was telling me it's easy to lose weight, and I was listening to the weight stigma around me that if I was fat, I couldn't do any of these other things, my life became small. I became about waking up at a specific time so that I could do a morning workout. And I became about checking off all of the food on my list that I had made. And I became about ensuring that I drank my X number of liters of water a day and getting in my afternoon workout and making sure that in the evening I made all the food I needed to make for the next day. And when I went to bed hungry, I would try to take my mind off of the fact that I was so hungry that my stomach was keeping me up. And then I would do it all over again the next day, avoiding any kind of social situations or networking opportunities or any type of social function where food would be involved, or even where it would keep me out later than my timing when I was supposed to be eating certain amounts of food. This became a wonderful way for a diet, a lifestyle, a wellness change, whatever you want to call it, it was a lot of restriction and it was a lot of work. And it was all because I wanted to get my health under control. And by health, in my own head, I thought that was weight. And a lot of people make that leap. They think that if their weight is low, then their health is good. And that's not true. It's just not true. Instead, during this time when I was at my thinnest, I was also at my sickest, because I would eat when I was hungry, and I would work out way more than my body needed. I was exhausted. I was hungry. And I was probably a little bit ready to explode. Now, some people may be going, oh, well, just your willpower, your determination, it just wasn't there. Except I'm going to tell you that I did this for 15 years. I did 15 plus diets. I reached my goal weight 5 times. I did 2 bodybuilding shows. You're not talking to someone who tried to do one diet once for a week. It's not like that. And if you did, you probably still felt some of this. So how do we combat this? How, as someone who hopefully, maybe, has made a decision to stop dieting, how do we combat this vicious cycle? This cycle of playing small, no matter what our weight. Because when we're trying to be thin, we are playing small so that we can get our health under control. And when we are fat or bigger or living in a larger body, and almost at that point where we would normally start another diet again, we're also playing small because we're scared that our weight is keeping us from doing the things we want to do. We don't think people are going to take us seriously. So how do we combat this? I have a few suggestions. First of all, be brave and do it anyway. If there is something that you want to do that you maybe never thought you were thin enough to do, or you've always wanted to do it, but you were always working on some other goal, now's the time. Be brave. Start that book. Write that blog. Start that podcast. Go out and start a new career. Jump back into school. Apply for that job. Whatever it is, now is the time. Be brave. Do it anyway. Awareness. This is my second tip, is awareness. Begin to become aware of your thoughts. What are you thinking about yourself? Do you have this little gremlin, this little inner critic saying, who do you think you are? Why do you think anyone's going to take you seriously if you look like that? Do you have those thoughts? Become aware of them. Are you letting diet culture hold you back? Think about that too. Then begin to curate your social media. So this is kind of my third tip, is to really begin to look at what you're letting into your mind all the time. Follow women who are doing amazing things. Follow women who are living in larger bodies and are living life. If you need some ideas about this, go on to iwishiwereme.com and jump onto the resources tab, and you will see that there's some Instagram handles there, and I think you're going to find all the inspiration you need there. Try to limit the amount of messaging that's coming into you that's negative about being in a larger body and not being able to do things or not being taken seriously. There are plenty of women living in larger bodies who are doing incredible things, and they are being taken seriously. This fourth tip, I guess? Fourth tip? So the first one is be brave and do it anyway. Second one is begin to bring some awareness to your thoughts. What are you thinking about yourself? The third one is to curate your social media and begin to follow women who are doing the things that you don't think you can do because of your weight. The fourth one is to write out an accomplishment list. This is, if you've been following my body image bingo card challenges, this is one of those challenges, and it was the one that I recommended everybody do last week. Write out an accomplishment list, a list of things that you have done in your life that have nothing to do with your weight. This is a great thing to do because it'll just lift your spirits, and it's something you can come back to again and again. If you need some inspiration here, go to Instagram, #BodyImageBingo. So that's #BodyImageBingo, and you'll see my list. It is 4 pages, and I dug deep. I went back into high school years to pull out some things that I'm really proud of. Once you begin to realize that your weight and dieting had nothing to do with those accomplishments in your life, you'll realize that you can accomplish so many great things. And the last tip I have for you is to begin to create goals that have nothing to do with weight loss or even health for a little while. Begin to create goals that get you excited, that have nothing to do with tracking your water or signing up for a half marathon. These are good things to do. These are healthy habits. These are things that you might want to accomplish or look at one day. But for now, when you are stuck in this thought cycle, step back and begin to work on other things. I don't think you're going to regret it, because if you were anything like me, when I was going through all of this dieting, not dieting, there were so many things that I wanted to do, but I felt like I was trapped in having to do all these other things that had to do with my health. And I put my health as a priority above all these other things. Now, you can look at some of my other videos where I kind of explain that while I would have said and told you that it was health, it was actually this desire to be thin that was my value, and I was putting that above everything else. So things like starting my blog, which I have started now, starting my business, which I have started now, being able to go to clubs that had nothing to do with health, I do that now. So start to create some of those goals and take some little baby steps towards doing them. I think you're going to find that once you start on this path of looking at your goals as something that doesn't have to always revolve around health or dieting or being thin, that they're so, like, the world just opens up. The doors just literally open. So here it is. Stop playing small. Stop letting this value of health reduce your life down to work, health, and exhaustion. And those are just a few of my tips to help you to get there.